Welcome to Budget Friendly Home Makeover. I'm Cheryl Bond, and I'm going to show you how to transform your home on a budget. So let me ask you this. Do you have pieces of furniture in your home that you just love, but you don't know how to part with them? Maybe it's something that somebody gave you through your family members, and it's just near and dear to your heart, and you don't want to get rid of that. Or maybe you just found a really great find at a garage sale, and you want to turn it into something beautiful. Well, that's exactly what I've got here. It's this piece of furniture or a mirror that I bought at a garage sale for $200 about 13 years ago. And I've had this in my home for many, many years. It just doesn't suit its purpose anymore because back in the day, my whole home was done in the Tuscany old world look. Well, now I'm kind of changing it a little bit, and I'm going to be doing a kind of a coastal farm look. And I still wanted to use this piece of furniture in my house, and it's going to be up over my couch, and I wanted to just paint it to give it a little brighter look. So I'm going to show you in this series of videos how you can transform different pieces of furniture and things in your home so that you don't break the bank. So here I'm going to paint this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use chalk paint on this because it's super easy to do. There's no prep, and you just need paint and a little bit of what I call my magic powder. And what I do is I mix my magic powder into my paint, and it makes chalk paint. So you don't have to spend a fortune on the chalk paint at retail cost. You can make your own. And if you want to learn how to do that, just go to my website, Artsy Fartsy Creations. That's ARTZY Creations. And you can go into my shop and you can find it in there, and it tells you exactly how to do it. I also have a video that shows you how to make it, which is super easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do on here is I'm going to paint this in like a very light teal color, and then I'm going to go, when that dries, I'm going to go over it without a white. So I'm going to show you how we get started on this, super easy. So here I've got my paint, my teal color, and I'm going to just start putting it on there. And I love these brushes, by the way. These are, this is a round brush, and what I love about it, it gets into all the grooves versus a regular brush. So you might want to check this out. I have those on the website too. And I'll show you how I use this and why I love it so much. Well, before we get started too, I want to let you know, I taped off all around the mirror because I don't want to get paint on the walls. And I also taped along the edge, so when I'm painting, I don't get paint on the mirror because it's kind of a pain to clean it. So that's all you got to do. Put drop cloth down, cover your furniture so you don't get paint on anything. And if you want, you can wear gloves. I'm not going to because I don't care. I just wash my hands. So all I'm going to do is put a little bit of paint on here, and I'm just going to start painting this on here. Look at how gorgeous that is. See how easy? I'm going to do one layer of this, and I'm not going to worry about covering it completely because what I'm going to do is a little distressing on this later, and I want some of that gold to come through. I just don't want all this gold on here. It's a little too bold for what I'm going for. So I'm just going to paint this on. I'm going to cover the entire mirror with this teal, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like, what do you call this blue? I had the name of it. It's a Sherwin-Williams color. I'll find it for you. I'll put it in I'm going to write a blog on this. So if you want the blog on how to do this exactly, so you can see every step by step, and you want to know where to get all the products, just go to my website and sign up to get my blogs. And you'll find it there. See what I'm doing? I'm just dabbing this in a little bit into the grooves here, onto all the ornate, beautiful carvings that are on here. And I'm just going to continue adding the paint. Doesn't get easier than that, right? And you can use any kind of paint, latex paint, not oil, just latex paint. Mix it with your magic powder, or if you already have chalk paint, use that. Doesn't matter. Any chalk paint will do. I just like making my own because I can custom make color. This actually is kind of a custom color because I used this color paint that I added. I think I bumped it down 25%. So I didn't want it super dark. See what I'm doing here? Now, if you like the gold on there, or like say for instance, I like all this gold coming through, I could have just put a little bit of paint on here and just tipped it off. See what happens there? And left a lot of the gold showing through. See how that looks? But that's not what I want to do. But I just like to give you a little tip on how you can do it a little bit differently. It's a lot of fun. Can't wait to see this when it's done. So I'm going to continue painting this whole thing. Won't take that long. By the time I'm done painting this, it dries pretty quick. I'll be ready to go back over it with my my next color. And you can use any color you want. So if you want to go into gray tones, or I mean, you can do purple for all, you know, it matters. Whatever colors you want to do, you can do. Because it's your piece, and you're making it your own style. I just happen to have a lot of the teal colors in my house, white, gray, beigey colors, things like that. And this is what I'm going to do on my piece. Isn't it pretty? Already it's looking nice. I'm just kind of moving my brush around to see how that brush works in there really good. It holds a lot of paint. It doesn't drip. Love it. And I'll go up underneath here and out on the top as well. There we go. You don't need a lot of paint, and this paint goes a long way too. I'll probably use less than a quart of paint on this whole thing. So if you really want to save some money, just go to like Home Depot or something like that and get their sample size paint, and then add the magic powder to it. You will spend probably a quarter of the price doing it that way than if you bought chalk paint, regular chalk paint. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to continue painting this thing, get it all done. It doesn't matter if you skip some areas, perfectly fine. And I'm just going to skip around here. I left a lot of open areas in here. There you go. So I'm going to continue painting this. When I'm done, I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the next step. Okay, so now we're back for step number 2 in our mirror makeover. And in our first step, if you remember, we painted chalk paint on this mirror. I let it dry, and we did it kind of like in a robin's egg blue, I guess. I used about 1.5 cups of paint to totally cover this entire mirror. We're going to do the same exact process, but now we're going to use a linen white over top of this color. And you're probably wondering why I'm painting over the color and covering it up, but I'll show you in the end what we're going to do, and some of that will come through. I don't want a lot of it coming through, just a little bit. So here's how we do. We just take our brush again with our chalk paint, and we're just going to paint over this. And as you can see, and you can kind of do a dry brush if you want. You don't have to cover the whole thing. Just go over it like this, and just in some areas dab it in so you have more of the blue coming through. But just, I didn't want a ton of blue coming through. I just want a little bit of blue coming through. I want more of the linen white coming through. So I'm just going to dab it in here in some of the areas that didn't get the blue in there. Just sporadically. It's a real quick, the second step is a real quick, job here. Like, just plop it on there, just get it on. No rhyme or reason. Just brush it on. You've already got most of it covered anyway. So we're just going to go in there and kind of fill it in a little bit. If you can see the difference between the two colors here. See how like this here is a lot lighter? And I'm just going to brush over this. I'm just going to do this the same thing I did the whole way through. It's a pretty quick process. This paint dries really fast. The best way to make your own chalk paint is to use flat or matte paint. Then add your powder in there to create the chalky feel, the chalky look. And that's all you have to do. It's pretty simple. You can do all your furniture pieces in this. This here, I'm not going to put a wax on it or anything like that. I'm not even going to seal it because it's on the wall, no one's touching it. But if you were to want to do, say, a table, you might want to put a clear coat over it. And I would just use like a polyacrylic clear coat, a flat polyacrylic. If you're going to wax it, then just wax it. You don't use both. It's either one or the other. So, and they, there's different color waxes too. I think in the next information I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'll do one like that so you can see how to combine wax with your chalk paint. I'm just kind of going to get it on there. The beautiful thing about this, you can't mess it up. You're just really just putting it on there, any old way, like just brushing it back and forth. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get on there. See, I'm not doing anything pretty with this. Now, if you really wanted like a solid look with this, then you would want to spray paint this. But I didn't want to get out the spray gun and do it that way. I kind of like the layers of colors. And even though this is more of an antique-y type piece, I'm still going to try and make it look a little more coastal with the colors. You see how I'm doing this? Just brushing it on. You only need one coat of each color. That's it. Get it on there. See, I'm just kind of dabbing it in. I don't have to cover everything. And you'll have some of that really pretty blue coming through underneath this white. The white just kind of softens it up a little bit. See that? There we go. And that's all I'm going to do is continue this entire mirror with my white, linen white chalk paint. Let that dry again. It doesn't take very long, maybe about 30 minutes or something like that. And you can see where it is. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to do the last step, which is I'm going to go in and distress it a little bit. So I can show you how to do that real quick and simple. And that is it. If you have any questions, you can always go to my Facebook group, Ask Cheryl Fawn, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Or if you're on YouTube watching this, you can always ask me a question through YouTube as well. And I'm going to be doing, like I said, a blog on this, showing you and giving you links and stuff so you know where to get this. You don't have to go figure it all out. So if you want that blog, just go to my website and sign up for my blogs. I have a weekly blog with all kinds of cool things on there for you to learn and fun projects for you to do in your home. And that's at www.artsyfartsycreation, and artsy and fartsy both have a Z in it, not an S. It's a Z. So just go there, sign up for my blog, and you'll see all the fun things that I'm doing on there too. That's it. So I'm going to continue this entire mirror. I'm going to finish it up, and then I'll be back to show you how to do the distressing. Our third and final step in our mirror makeover, and I'm going to take you through the steps once more. We did 2 coats of chalk paint on here. The first one was like a robin egg blue, and then we did a white linen. And I haven't let this dry completely because I want to show you how to do a real easy distressing on this mirror using just a rag. And what I did was I just dunked this in water, wrung it out real tight, and it's nice and damp. I'm just going to wrap my finger around this, and now I'm going to rub over the edges of the mirror. And you can see, hopefully, what I'm doing. I'm just rubbing off some of the paint. What you don't want to do is the whole mirror like overdo it. You just want to kind of wear it down like a normal wear spots, like on the tops of things. It kind of brings out the detail, but try not to overdo it because sometimes less is more. Some people have a tendency to do that. So I'm just going to rub this right over, let's see, let's find a spot here where you can maybe see, right over these flowers. And see how I'm just taking off a little bit of paint? You can take off as little or as much as you want. And then normally I would just go like on the edges in here. And all I'm doing is moving this rag around a little bit and just doing little tiny rub marks on the edge. Now the longer you let this dry, the harder it is to get it off. It's not hard, but you gotta do a little more rubbing. Another way you can do that is by using a fine grit sandpaper. Don't use anything harder, you know, a little more of a grit than that, because it kind of scratches it up. So just get something very fine, and then you can just rub over the top like this too. See how I'm just lightly rubbing? This, using the rag, gives it a little bit of a softer look than the sandpaper. So you can just kind of go back and just rub some areas like this, a little bit faster. You're just going to take off more of the 2 layers. If you want some of that first layer to show through, then use your rag and just lightly go over it, and then you'll see some of the teal coming through, or whatever color you decide to use. And I'm just going to kind of do that in a couple spots here. I don't want too much showing through. I'm trying to get more of a coastal than a shabby chic kind of look. But I do like the distressed look. So, and I'll just go around my edges here and take some off. See how I have a little bit more there, which is fun. You can do a little bit wider, a little bit thinner. I'm going to take some off of here, and I'll just work around the entire mirror until I'm satisfied with the look. You might want to step back a little bit, make sure it's a little even, and you know, you didn't overdo some areas. Now, if you do overdo it and you don't like the way it looks, just take your paint and go right back over it. That's the beautiful thing about using chalk paint. Just put some more on there and you cover it right up. It's really easy to do. So I'm just going to continue just doing a couple edges. See how that's a little bit wider? I think I might like that. I'll step back and take a look at it. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a weird look, weird down look. Worn down look. I said weird down look. Gosh, I can't even talk. Now here, it's a little bit harder. I think I'll let that paint dry a little bit more. So I'm just going to take and just rub it across the detail. And just take some of that paint off. And there you go. That's all you have to do. And then when you're done, you just take off all your tape. Take everything off, and then you get a beautiful mirror. You've got a beautiful piece of furniture, and that's all you have to do. If you want the details and all the links to the products for doing a project like this, you can go to my website, artsyfartsycreations.com, and just sign up for it to subscribe to my weekly blog. Be happy to share that information with you. And if you have any questions, just go ahead, and if this is on YouTube, you're on YouTube, go ahead and shoot me a question. I'll be happy to answer you. If not, go on to the Facebook group, Ask Cheryl Fawn. Happy to talk to you there as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a blessed day.